Hey all, I started this without my oxygen on, so hold on 1 second. So my sister gave me the advice to keep my videos on one subject and one subject only because she found it very hard to follow my videos, and I can see why. I'm going to start off with this one being about bipolar disorder, which I have. I was diagnosed, I guess, about 5 years ago. I had been previously diagnosed as PTSD, anxiety disorder, and depression, though I never felt I was depressed. I still don't get depressed very often. I'm more on the mania scale than anything else. The PTSD is due to the me being a survivor of abuse as a child, and my whole family's kind of riddled with depression. So, and my mother was a sociopath. Now, I don't know, or she still is if she's alive. I don't know how much of that is genetic. I know they say that anyone with bipolar disorder probably comes from a family system with at least other mood disorders present. So I think my grandmother had depression and anxiety disorder. So, when I first got the diagnosis, I kind of had a hard time believing it, but there were things that were happening, going on in my head that were a little faster than normal. So I would change moods very, very quickly out of thin air and very quickly, whereas before it wasn't so quick. I have bipolar 1. My mania is not the kind of fun mania. I get very aggressive. I am very irritable at everybody in the world. I get this obsessive need to, work on a project until, I can't move. Like I would spend when I was developing websites, I would make logos, and then I would make, the whole website, not knowing whether they even like the look, but I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop. People would always say to me, "Oh God, you're so fast. You're the fastest web designer." and it was my bipolar. So, and also I would spend a lot of money. And I know I've had that problem for a long, long time. Spending money I didn't have and that kind of stuff. And funny thing is, 2 weeks after I started lithium carbonate, that need completely dropped away. I mean, just completely fell away. So my addiction in terms of shopping just dropped off completely. I had been clean and sober for like 20 years, 22 years by the time I was diagnosed. I do have PTSD, and that is on the side of that. But it's not easy to accept that you have a mental illness. And what happened was, within the first year that I was taking my meds, and I was on 900 milligrams of lithium. I was on Klonopin for anxiety, and I was on Seroquel And what else was I on? I was on an antidepressant, but I can't remember which one. Anyway, I went back and forth on, like, I really wanted to stop the medicine. And I really wanted to stop because I didn't know who I was anymore. I mean, I acted in ways that weren't me. I was reasonable, I was rational, I was, and I wasn't used to that, and I didn't recognize myself. And I kind of felt like I had no personality. And I used to cry to my husband. But, I have no personality. I'm like this blob, you know. And he said, don't you dare stop taking that medicine. So I guess I don't know how bad I was. But apparently I was bad. And I was always, previous to that, especially in the drug world, I was noted as kind of a mad dog and that kind of person. And I'm only 5'1", and sometimes some men would be scared of me. So, I guess I was really, I guess I don't get a sense of how I came off to people. I never had friends in my life. I had acquaintances and never had friends. And people just didn't want to be near me. Even when I was drinking or getting high, or maybe I should say especially when I was drinking and getting high, people just didn't want to be around me. And I never understood that. I never saw myself as they saw me. And I still think I have that problem. I don't see myself as other people see me. But anyway, after about a year on medication, I started to work out, what's me in this? What was just the misfires in my brain? And does that make it me? No, that doesn't make it me. That just makes it misfires in my brain. So I had to really work that out the first year. Bipolar disorder people tend to stop their meds. I mean, that's a really regular occurrence. And the reason for that are many. I told you what mine were, and I'm sure many people find the same kind of questions that they have. And it's hard. It's very, very hard. It's not that you never get bouts of mania or depression when you're on medication, but you can handle them a lot better. They're a lot smaller. So, this thing where I started making my channel on YouTube was born from a little mania. Because before I would have just been sitting in my recliner watching a boob tube. But, I want to leave something. And I want to leave something of me for my family, and I thought this was a good way to do it. My son can download them all and save them on his hard drive, and that kind of stuff. My husband. And so this bipolar thing is really hard. It is a really hard kind of mental illness to have, although I'd pick it over schizophrenia or psychosis. But I used to get a little psychotic every once in a while. I used to hear things like I would hear when I was in mania, and I knew I was in mania when I heard the radio. And what that is there's a radio somewhere in the house, and it's on, and people are talking on it, but I can't understand what they're saying. So it's muffled. It's muffled talking. And that's the radio. And when I hear the radio, I know I've started a manic episode. So, and actually, I haven't heard the radio in probably a year. But the other thing is I have so much else wrong with me that I don't know. I don't know. So that's my take on bipolar disorder, and I hope I've kept to one subject, and I think I have. So till next time, and it won't be on bipolar, it'll be on something else. You'll have to wait and see.